Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, the Glendale City Council changes course on a proposed Indian casino. There could soon be a shortage of homes for sale in the Phoenix area, and we'll learn about ASU's involvement in a project to run a Chevy Camaro on alternative fuels. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The Glendale City Council voted yesterday to support a potential Indian casino on land adjacent to the city. Here to talk about why the council had a change of heart on the issue is the man who changed his vote and made the switch possible, Councilman Gary Sherwood. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good evening.
What exactly did the council vote on yesterday?
Really just a resolution. There's a Indian Affairs, there's a Senate committee meeting next month that was requested by Senator Flake and McCain. They had a lot of pressure to call on this, and it's 3 or 4 different issues, but one of them is the Glendale issue. And prior to that, we had a couple resolutions that said that we were not supportive of taking that land into trust, and then we had a more recent one that said we didn't support the 1410 bill. And so what we wanted to do, since the mayor was the only one that could speak on this, was we wanted to make sure that they understood that we were in support of this project now.
The mayor is not in support of the project.
He is not.
And he will be speaking in Washington at the hearing?
He will be testifying in front of the committee. He was the only one to requested to do so.
So is there any indication on how he's going to present something he's not necessarily in favor of?
Well, he would have to state the city's official position, which we quantified last night, and then if he's going to offer a personal opinion, then he has to state that he's in the minority, then he can state his opinion.
What is the city's official opinion?
That we're in support of this, and that we're asking respectfully asking the subcommittee to allow us to finish our process, which will take place in the first part of August. We've done the fact finding, we've pretty much completed negotiations, and we go dark in July in terms of meetings, so we probably would have voted on this month. So this will come up in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and then we'll have our official position out there, depending on how it's voted on.
Indeed, and you mentioned the couple of the previous votes and previous council actions. Battleship apparently was moving in that particular direction, slow, but it was getting there. But you did change your vote. You shifted. Why?
Well, I thought it was a shame that we had gone nearly 4.5 years without any communication at all with the Tohono O'odhams. I understand that once we found out that they had purchased that land under a shell corporation, maybe there needed to be a 6-month cooling off period, but we weren't winning any battles, with the courts. And the other thing is we have an arena and a stadium out there, and when we have these mega events like the Super Bowl or the Fiesta Bowl, we don't have anything to hold people there. And a casino that can get up there in 16 months and provide that. I mean, there was a lot of development that was already funded and preliminary plat approved just prior to the downturn south of the stadium, and that would have gone a long ways in terms of holding people. But that's going to come back much slower, and so a casino can really inspire development in that area.
Was there a moment? Was there an aha moment? Was there something in particular that got you to change your mind?
Well, some private meetings with the chairman of the Tohono O'odhams, and I said there's certain things that we're going to want for that, even though it's not our land. So it's kind of silly. We're demanding things that we have no control over. But again, they wanted to see this not stay in the courts for another 3 or 4 years, so they were willing to bend as well. And in those discussions, found out that they were very amenable to pretty much acting like a private entity. That they would give up solvency for our MOUs and various contracts, and give us pretty much a lot of what we were asking for.
Other tribes have released a statement saying you, in particular, you flip-flopped on this issue, and one of your council members says that the city now, because of this position, has lost all leverage in those negotiations. How do you respond to that?
Well, number one, I did change my position, but because I learned a lot more, I got educated, and if you can't do that as an elected official, or if you can't even do that in a private enterprise, then you're not doing yourself justice. So as I learned more, and as I saw that we could gain something by this, then why not? And in terms of losing our negotiating power, what power did we have? I mean, in fact, some of their council, they have 24 members of their council that they're having to put this in front of after we do our vote. They're saying, why do anything with Glendale now? We're pretty much in the driver's seat. So again, the people that we've been negotiating with, including Chairman Norris, they see the fruits of what we've been doing, and they're not going to. I mean, we're going to continue on, and this is going to be a nice partnership.
The critics of the move will say that the city will lose hotel business, the city will lose entertainment business. Again, valid concerns?
Not at all. In fact, all the businesses in that area, the owner of Westgate, the sports teams, the Tanger, they all want that. It's like when you put a hamburger stand up, an extra hamburger stand up on a corner, and the one stand is fearful of losing business. It actually becomes more of an attraction because now people have a choice. So no, all the businesses in that area support this. They want it. The Renaissance, the Glendale Renaissance, you would think that would be one entity that would have a concern. They're very much in favor of it.
Well, if all these people are in favor of it, why spend 5 years of fighting this thing? $3.5 million of legal fees. What was it all for?
I could probably answer that by stating that same question. You know, I mean, there was people that were just dug in and they weren't willing to discuss this. So, you know, last August and September we had a few meetings, a few of us with the tribal nation, and learned what they were willing to do. And then we opened it up the day before Thanksgiving. I think we had our first, not the council, but we had our staff visit Sells, Arizona, and did a fact find. They had several more meetings on that. Then it went into negotiations. And from that, we're where we're at today, where we're very close to coming up with some document, an MOU or something that will secure this agreement.
How much has this issue divided the city?
You know, you're either for it or against it. It's one of those emotional issues. It was somewhat like the arena deal that we did. We've been a very divisive council anyways. We're a 4-3 council. It's just a different 4-3 depending on what the subject is. So, but in terms of the town, I think once you start, you know, again, most everything's been in e-session type, so we really haven't been able to release a lot of details. I think once that starts getting out there and the project actually comes into being, people warm up to it. I mean, there's been some extensive polling done, and depending on what district you're in, it's been running either 80-20 or 70-30 in favor of it. So, and those are some expensive polls, so they had the 3.5–4% error rate.
All right. Well, very good. Thank you so much for joining us and clarifying your change on the. But what's next now? What happens again? Something once you guys get back in session?
Once we get back in session, we'll workshop it in the first week of August, and then we'll have a voting meeting in the second week. And then there's some legal hurdles that they need to clear, but they feel pretty comfortable with that.
And make the position official, in other
Yes.
words. All right. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
A new ASU report indicates that the Phoenix area could soon be facing a shortage of homes for sale. Mike Orr, director of the Center for Real Estate Theory and Practice at the W.P. Carey School of Business, conducted the research. Always good to see you. Housing shortage in the valley, what's going on here?
Well, we've had a while buyers were lacking enthusiasm, and now I'm seeing a period where sellers are joining in. They're not particularly enthusiastic. So we've actually got fewer homes being listed than I've seen in the last 14 years.
So basically the lack of demand is hiding a shortage even now.
Exactly. We know what a shortage felt like because we had that in 2011 and 2012 and the first half of 2013. And I unless we start to see a lot more listings come along, when the demand goes back to normal, we could be back into a period of very short supply again.
Any idea when that could happen?
No, that's the difficult bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be very soon because there's not much sign of demand perking up just yet.
Why is that? Why is the market so quiet right now?
I think there's two major reasons. One of it is we've still got a lot of people who were foreclosed. I remember 2008 through 2012, 5 years of very heavy foreclosures, and many of those people still can't qualify for a loan because Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, their rules are foreclosure means a 7-year wait. That's 7 years added onto 2008 to 2015. So the bulk of those aren't really going to come around till next year. So I think demand will grow next year. And then the other big collection of people who are not really buying homes the way they normally would be the younger generation, the people in their 20s and early 30s. And a whole lot of reasons, but definitely not participating as first-time home buyers like their previous generations did.
And we talked about that in the past. Not the least of those reasons is maybe they've been scarred by seeing what happened to the market here
I think that's a large part of it. I mean, when I was in my 20s, home prices were going up very fast and everybody was desperate to get and buy one before they got out of reach. If you've watched your parents go through foreclosure or other relatives go through short sale, it's a bit off-putting that those nasty things can happen to you if you buy a home. So I think they're probably making a mistake. That sort of cycle we went through is generally the sort of thing that only happens once every 100 years or so. Not likely to repeat itself.
Investors not picking up the slack?
No, investors are actually even fewer in number now than they were a few months ago. We have very few bargains available now. If you want to be an investor here, you've got to do a lot of foot slogging, hard work to go and find out a place that you can get at a below market price.
But they're not buying, but how come they're not selling them?
Well, because they're renting them very successfully. We have very low demand for homes to buy, but we have very high demand for homes to rent. Because if the millennials are not buying homes, they're renting them, and therefore being a landlord is proving to be a very successful trade.
I would imagine then rental demand is up, prices accordingly?
Yes, rents are definitely moving up, and much faster than I've seen for the last 10 years.
Interesting.
So that could encourage people next year to think about buying instead of renting.
Again, as far as picking up the slack, what about the move-up buyer, the second home buyer? Where are they?
Again, move-up buyers, not terribly enthusiastic. Many of them, after all of the comings and goings of the last 10 years, don't have a huge amount of equity. And the idea of trading without having a big down payment to put on the new home is not that exciting. So even if they've got to a positive equity point of view, it's not great unless you've got a nice substantial equity position to move up.
You mentioned the folks that had foreclosure problems and may be waiting for that 7-year period to end. What else will increase demand aside from those folks maybe getting their feet back in the water?
Easier financing. I mean, that's one of the most critical factors in demand is how frequently a lender will say yes to an application. And we've been through a period in 2003, 2005, lenders said yes to almost every application. And then between 2011, 2013, they said no to almost every application and everybody was buying with cash. It's starting to go back towards normal, but it's still much harder to get approved than average over the last 100 years. So as lenders start to accept more and more applications, demand for homes will increase.
Are we still seeing unusually high numbers of cash buyers out there?
Yeah. It's not as high as it was, but it's well above normal.
So basically, when that demand picks up, and again, that's the tricky part is figuring that out,
Right.
Supply shortage is possible.
It's possible. I'm not saying it will happen, because we might see sellers come out of the woodwork as well. But what we're not seeing is a lot of new single-family home construction. It's still very low compared with even the second half of the 1990s.
Does that construction increase once that demand picks up, or is that market forever changed?
I think it will increase, but it can't increase as fast as the demand can increase. I mean, you just don't have enough people working for the developers to, treble the production. And it takes time to, create a new subdivision, get all the permits, and get building. At the moment, the effort is building multifamily units to cope with the rental demand. So there's a lot of multifamily construction going on, particularly up and down Scottsdale Road and Rural Road.
And again, those are the glorified infill projects, are they not?
Yeah, and they're also pretty expensive as well as rentals. They're not really catering to the average renter, they're catering to the fairly wealthy renter.
So, townhouse and condo prices, those are, according to your report, those are up slightly, huh?
They're up slightly, not a lot of movement on price in the last few years, in the last few months. They're still up from 12 months ago, but most of that increase was quite a while ago now.
That market always seems relatively stable, doesn't it?
Yes, and I think we do have a stable market. I'm not seeing pricing is moving either up or down over the rest of this year. They're kind of really at a level which seems to be right for this level of demand and supply.
Arizona's overall economy, we've done stories on how job rebounding in Arizona is not quite what it is around the rest of the country. How much of a factor?
That's also a factor. If there was a lot of job growth, then we would probably have people moving into the state, and particularly into Maricopa and Greater Phoenix. One of the big things that's missing from the demand right now is Californians. If you go back to 2004, 1 in 10 of the homes being bought were Californian. Now it's only about 3 or 4%. So
why is that?
Well, I think that's a hard question to answer. My particular viewpoint, and there are many others, is that from a Californian's point of view, when they look over the border, the sort of thing that concerns them is maybe we don't spend enough on education compared with what they spend. They like the idea of paying a lot less tax, but maybe not quite as much less if they could have slightly more education. Because they'd move for their own purposes, but they're also worried about whether their children will be disadvantaged.
Interesting.
They do, however, get a lot more home for their money, so it's very appealing.
Real quickly, what do we look for to see that maybe something's happening here and things are changing?
Well, right now I'm looking for the number of new listings coming along on the local MLS. I track that every day and try and compare week with week, say, are we seeing an upward trend or a downward trend? And at the moment, it's still very low.
Don't you usually see something hit, though, once fall comes around?
Usually, listings are starting to arrive quite fast right now, and overwhelming demand, because the hot months are when not many people are out buying,
right,
and listings start accumulating. At the moment, that's not happening. It's unusual. And that's why I think we need to sort of prepare ourselves that maybe the supply could be quite low again next year.
All right, interesting stuff. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Get the inside scoop on what's happening at Arizona PBS. Become an 8 Insider. You'll receive weekly updates on the most anticipated upcoming programs and events. Get the 8 Insider delivered to your email inbox. Visit azpbs.org to sign up today.
Tonight's edition of Arizona Technology and Innovation looks at alternative fuels. Arizona State University has been chosen to compete in an advanced vehicle technology program called EcoCar 3. It's a 4-year contest with students at ASU's Polytechnic campus in Mesa working to run a Chevy Camaro on alternative fuels. Abdel Mayes is the lead faculty advisor for ASU's EcoCar 3 project. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, give me a better definition here. EcoCar 3, what are we talking about?
Well, the EcoCar 3 actually is a 4-year collegiate engineering student program that builds on the 26 years of a proud history of Department of Energy Advanced Vehicle Technology Competition, which actually give the opportunity for the engineering students to be exposed for unparalleled experience and deal with the latest automotive technology.
And again, you mentioned Department of Energy, General Motors involved in this as well, correct?
Yes, of course. It's a partnership between the Department of Energy and General Motors. So it's established by Department of Energy and General Motors and managed by the Argonne National Library.
Now, again, we're talking about an alternative fuel fuel Camaro. Let's define terms here. Alternative fuel, what does that encompass?
Well, as dictated by the organizer, which is the Department of Energy and General Motors, is we're allowed to use the alternative fuels of the type of B20 and E85. So we're looking at electrification for the Camaro. So we are going to include alternative powertrains in terms of electrification for the Camaro while maintaining its performance and the iconic and muscle car of Camaro though.
Okay, what you said made exactly 0 sense to me. What are we talking? Is it a fuel cell? What's going on here?
Well, it's advanced and alternative powertrain, and that's in the electrification portion. So I don't think it's a fuel cell. I'm not sure if the sponsor will support this type of technology. But the two types of fuel that I mentioned, the B20 biodiesel 20 and the E85, the ethanol, is the two types of fuel that are approved by the sponsor that we can incorporate into the Camaro.
And the sponsor does have to approve.
Oh yes, it's subject to the approval of the sponsor, yeah, of course.
Now, it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong here, the first year you're just simply designing the prototype for this thing, correct?
Correct, yes. So it's a 4 years program. It's structured such that the first year the students will do, a virtual prototyping for the design on how they will re-engineer that production vehicle, which is the Camaro, into an alternative powertrains. And the second year they will do the integration and the design. This third year it will be more refining, and the fourth year will be just finalizing the product.
And indeed to a showroom quality vehicle, I would imagine.
Exactly.
Do you have to do marketing? Did I see that as well, marketing too?
Yes, so the participating universities actually must actually recruit teams spanning many engineering disciplines, including mechanical, electrical, control, and computer and software engineering, as well as project management, marketing, and communication as well.
You mentioned the fuels that were approved, and I think some people will say, well, that's already out there then. What's new? What's improved? What can change with this?
Yeah, true. So this version of EcoCar is a successor for EcoCar 2. We are brand new as Arizona State University at the Polytechnic School to the EcoCar 3. So let's say actually it's true that they add one additional component this time, which is the innovation. So in addition to the existing technology of alternative fuel and alternative powertrains, we will have actually an innovation part. So the teams has to come up with an innovation in their design.
And as far as that innovation and that design and what you're coming up with, is the bottom line, what is it? Is it efficiency? Is it miles per gallon? Is it how long you can go without a this, that, or the other? What's the goal here?
So while competing with other participating universities across North America, our Arizona State University EcoCar team will be challenged to design and build the vehicle that, when compared to the production vehicle, which is the Camaro donated by General Motors, will reduce fuel consumption, reduce the tailpipe emissions, the greenhouse gases, and of course maintain the consumer acceptability in terms of performance, utility, and safety, as well as meeting the energy and environmental criteria while considering cost and innovation.
And there were 16 universities competing now in this thing?
Including Arizona State and the Polytechnic.
Out of 100 universities apply, how did ASU get in there?
Well, it's difficult to gain acceptance into this program, especially for brand new teams with no prior experience. However, our ASU team actually had an overwhelming faculty support as well as the infrastructure that in order to create top-notch automotive educational program.
So basically, and again, you've got to have an engineering team, you've got to have a project management team, probably have a marketing team as well. You've got to have a lot of teams out there.
Correct, yeah. We have 3 main teams. The engineering is split into 5 sub-teams. Then the project management split in another several sub-teams, and the communication, which is the marketing and the outreach team.
And housed and managed at the Polytechnic campus, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So,
out there, I mean, sometimes things are going on out there, and we try to talk about them a little bit here, but some folks kind of aren't quite aware. ASU has a reputation for auto engineering. It sounds like it's developing. True?
It is true. Our automotive engineering is still young. It's about 4 years old. I joined this school 2 years ago as a junior faculty. However, this is our opportunity at Arizona State at the Polytechnic School in order to promote our automotive engineering educational program and actually seed the ground in order to build and gain reputation as a top automotive engineering program at the West region. So we're looking at that.
All right, and if you win, or even if you don't win, who gets to keep the car?
Well, the schools, can keep the cars for further research, of course. So.
Okay, so no one gets to drive away saying, I'm the king of the hill here?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, good luck. Project begins when? It's August, September, somewhere along
It
those?
starts in the August and the fall, and will conclude in 2018 in summer, so it's 4 years.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thursday on Arizona Horizon, it is another political debate, this one featuring the 4 Democrats running to succeed Congressman Ed Pastor in Congressional District 7. A debate Thursday evening at 5:30 and 10 right here on Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.